Hi, welcome to Simply Noelle Stitches and welcome to my channel about cross stitching. Today it is Monday the 19th, Monday the 19th of January, I had to think about it then, 2026, and this is Flosstube number 47. So I'm just going to run through all the whips that I've worked on. I'm looking down here because I have my notes down there. Sorry, I also have a fan on because it's Brisbane and it's humid and it's really hot. So sorry if you can hear the fan in the background. I'll try and talk louder to talk over it. Alright, so I'm just going to go through all my whips and then maybe plans if I remember. Who knows? I've got a big tub down here with all the whips that I've worked on. There's currently 17 that I've worked on. So yeah. We might be here a little while. Okay, so in no particular order, probably actually in order of the last ones I worked on, backwards to the first one since the last video, because I've got this tub and when I finish with them, I just put them in this tub ready for the next video, and then when they get too many to stand up, I pile them on top. So I know this was the one I worked on last night. And it is a full coverage, and I'm going to try and remember to tell you what I stitched them for. Yeah, so because what I use my whips for is multiple games. I play a lot of games, different Facebook groups, and on Discord. So I don't normally stitch on a whip for one thing. It's normally multiple things. So I've tried to write down what I can remember that I stitched from. Anyway, first one I'm going to show you is called Gardener's Paradise by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork, by Donna Gelsinger. That is what it's going to look like when it is done, and this is massive. It is 675 by 500. I don't know how many colors, but I just got the standard chart. And I am a top left starter, so I am up here. So this one my daughter picked out, I think when they had the last sale in Hayde, and I got her to have a look at my wish list and said pick out one of those, and she picked this one. And I rolled my eyes and went, oh, that's confetti heavy. But anyway, so I worked on it just the once, which was last night. And I put in, if I remember, I'll put before photos in. I should have them all because I use them for games, and all the games you need to put before and after photos. So I should have the before photos to put in. Hopefully I remember to do that. And then this is where it is now. So I put in 854 stitches on this last night. Or actually from yesterday, because yesterday was Sunday. So I spent sort of, I don't know, maybe from 3 o'clock in the afternoon through, take out time doing stuff with the family and preparing and eating dinner, that sort of stuff. And I got 854 stitches in. And I used this for Bringo, which is a challenge in the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge Facebook group. Anyway, I'll have it linked below. That's quite a mouthful. And I can't remember what the prompt was. I think it might have been, wait a minute, I can tell you. I have it here. It was for, no, I don't have the other supporting paperwork. Anyway, I think it might have been a whip someone else chooses for you, which my daughter chose that one. So that was that one. Alright, so this one is my daily 30. Now I don't stitch on it every single day. My daily 30, obviously 30 minutes. I go, well, okay, that's 50 stitches. So I average, or I work out, don't average. I work out what that is a week, and I try to get that many stitches in it in the week, but I don't pull it out every day to stitch on, if that makes sense. So I should get 350 stitches a week into it, and that's sort of what I'm aiming for. So it's Crowns of the Kingdom by Rosewood Manor, and that is what it will look like when it is completed. This one is my memorial piece for Queen Elizabeth II. And it's been languishing ever since she passed. And that's why I've got it as my daily 30, because it's one that I kept skipping over. And I think it's because it's such a huge piece of fabric. Like, the chart size is 248 by 246. So it's not a small chart by any means, but I'm also doing it on 25 piece of even weave 2/2, so it's going to be quite large. Sorry, that Haid was done 25 count even weave 1/1 full cross. So I probably try and remember more to tell you that. Alright, so I worked on this once and I did 552 stitches. So like I said, I don't do it every day, so I just did it. I chose one night. This is a night I'm going to get my 350 stitches, and I did more. So this is where it was. Hopefully I've put the picture up, and now this is where it is. Sorry about that glare of that light. Let me move it a little bit further away. It's just a little bit glary. Okay, wait, wrong, is that it? Yes, that's it. All right, so that is where it is. I worked basically, I don't think I moved the Q-snap like mid-stitching. I think I pretty much just worked here. So I did that one, that one, that one, and started that one. I think I may have, I don't know, did some of this as well since you've last seen it. But this is all of it so far. See, it's going to be big. But I love Rosewood Manners, and I'm just using 4 DMC colours. Now it's charted to use Weeks Dye Works, I think. No, it's charted for Rainbow Gallery Treasure Braid. And I have just chosen 4 DMC colours. I've got 2 shades of yellow to sort of replace the goldy colour that they call for. And then I've just got a black and a grey. So I'm using 03 for the grey, and then 310 obviously for the black. And my yellows are 834 and 783. So there's a closer up of the stitching that I did. That one's not finished yet, obviously. And there's beads and stuff as well, apparently. I haven't come across where the beads go. Oh no, that's just says, no, so I was trying to quickly read something. She suggests, like she always does in all her charts, that you can stitch sections of the chart, individual motifs, add beads to make ornaments, things like that. So that's what I was reading as I was talking. I was going, wait, I haven't seen any beads yet on the chart. Okay, so did I tell you that one was once and 552 stitches? Okay, next. Just looking for this one on my list. Okay, so this one, yeah, so I didn't use that for a prompt in a challenge that crowns the kingdom, but I'm in a few challenges. So like there's one on fandom that is just a yearly thing, and you've got how do I explain it? They have a Role of a Lifetime yearly challenge, and for every role that you have to play, and you have to do them in order 1 through to 12, I think there is, you have to do 2,000 stitches, and you can do that on any project. So it's not prompt based. It's not like the other one where they talk about a musical and then you have to stitch on something that's got a necklace on it, sort of thing. They're not prompt like that, not prompt based challenges like that. So whenever I have something that I stitch on like that, like the Crowns of the Kingdom, that doesn't fit into another prompt on another game, then I'll use it for that, like, if that makes sense. So it doesn't really have a prompt that it fits into a lot of times. Okay, so this one is Sabrina by Mirabilia. That is what she will look like when she is completed. This one I stitched on once. Oh, sorry, I've got the hiccups. Goodness. Hopefully there's a before photo up on the screen now. And this one I stitched on for Down Under Divas Deck of Whips challenge. And also Fandom. I can't remember what the prompt was for Fandom. Something, a lady, something with lips maybe. And I put in 1,129 stitches. So I did the dress down here and all these flowers up here. That was my 1,129 stitches. And I am doing this on a piece of, I think it's Country Vintage Mocha. What is it? Vintage Country Mocha? Something like that. I can't remember what it's called. 18 count Ada. And I'm using DMC. So where the flowers are, they were called for Karen water lilies. So I just substituted for DMC solid colours because the Karen water lilies are variegated and I don't have any, and I don't like buying stuff like that if I'm only going to use it for one project. So I normally don't buy it, and I will substitute DMC where I can. So I substituted a couple of DMCs for them. If you're interested and want to know what the substitutes were that I used, then comment below. So you can see the colours on the dress and the flowers are not too dissimilar to my converted ones, and I think they're going to work okay. So that was that one, Sabrina. So I will have linked below as well all the groups that I'm a part of and that I stitch for. If you want to do any challenges, I do a lot of challenges. I'm a bit stupid, really. And I stress myself out sometimes in the amount that I do. So if you don't want to be stressed with your stitching, join one or two. Don't join them all, like me. But the Deck of Whips challenge in Down Under Divas is really cool. She just has... Sorry, my glasses are dirty. Squirrel? There was something on there I could see. So she's got a deck of cards, 52 cards in a deck. And there were several different options and the ways you could play the game. But each week she's going to draw a card and then give you a password to use. And then you stitch on that project for however many stitches according to whatever challenge thread that you've picked, if that makes sense. So mine is a minimum of 200 stitches per project. So I went well and truly over. But I tend not to stitch on a project for the amount of stitches it needs and put it away and then get another project out. I will maybe stitch 2, 3 at the most projects a night. Normally it is only one. Unless there's something that I really am trying to catch up a challenge for, like Bringo, and that is 100 stitches per prompt, and I am falling behind on that. So I will, if I get really at the end of the month and I'm really far behind, then I will, just on a weekend, I will go through them all 100 stitches or 150, 200 stitches, and then go on to the next whip. That is rare for me to do though. And I mainly do it over a weekend. Once I get a project on the Q-snap and on the Lowry stand for the night, that's normally all I do. So anyway, next one is, trying to find it, and I don't, oh there it is. Alright, so this is Snowman Wisdom by Jeanette Douglas, and that is what it will look like when it is done. Really cool. And I stitched on this once and I did 128 stitches, and this was for Bringo. So this is one where I have changed several whips of a night or of a day, a weekend, whatever. Just moving my needle minder. I'm doing this on a 32 count Belfast linen, pale blue colour. And I just did 128 stitches, and that 128 was a little snowman head and hat. Isn't he cute? So not a lot on this one. But I think I had left this one till late in the night and I was getting really tired and I went, oh no, I'm sorry, but that's all you're going to get tonight, snowman. And that is using all DMC colours. I use DMC for everything, if I haven't already said that. Alright, so that's Snowman Wisdom. And I don't know why he's still sharing a bag with another one that's of a totally different type of project. And I have spare project bags. I don't know why I haven't moved him. But anyway, I know where he lives now, so that's probably why. Okay, next we have Vintage Shoes. This is an old kit by Basila, I think. Yes. And this is what it's going to look like when it is finished. This one I bought when my daughter was born, with plans to have it in her room as she's growing up. Yeah, now she's 21 and I still haven't finished it. And now everything in her room is Taylor Swift, so it's like, doesn't really fit, really, does it? Okay, so this one I worked on once for 521 stitches, and I did this for temperature stitching down under Divas. They're ambling through the alphabet challenge, which is 2 letters a month picked and prompts given. You have to make your project fit that prompt using that letter of the alphabet. So I think it was a designer starting with A or B, and it could be, if it's a kit, it could be the kit manufacturer. So because this is Basila, I made that fit. And also I used it for Fandom. And the 521 stitches are down here. Alright, so I finished off that third shoe, brought the border down, and then did the flowers here, I think, from last time. I haven't looked at my before photos before I've done this video, so I could have already done that. But I'm pretty sure the shoe was done and I just back stitched it and brought these down and then did the flowers. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. So this one is close to a finish. I just have to finish off these flowers here, and then at the top there's the same flowers. I just need to finish them off and then add the beads, and this one will be done. So this is on my temperature stitching, so I'm hoping, oh, that's really glary. Why is that so glary? Goodness. So I am hoping by mid-February this one will be done. So sorry, fan's blowing. Anyway, I've got to sort these lights out. They're way too bright. They're really good when I'm paper crafting. That might be better. I've angled it away. But when I'm doing these videos, yeah, it's so great. Alright. Next, we have, did I not write this down? Yes, I did. Okay. This is Glistening Wings by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is the current cell, which you've probably seen lots of times. I'm just trying to find my photo. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the one I chose for the 2026 cell, called Glistening Wings. Gorgeous dragonflies. That is what it's going to look like when it is finished, and I am up here. So this is only the second time I've worked on it. I know, slacker that I am. But I worked on it once and put 695 stitches into it. And I used it for Fandom and Bringo. And I can't remember what the Bringo prompt was, but I made it fit. So that's where I am now. Sorry about the park threads. I don't do a lot of parking because it drives me insane. But I have on this one just a little bit. So that is where I am now. I worked across, I remember doing this bit here. I did a lot of this, all this across here. That yellow down to here. So I did quite a bit. And this is done on 25 count even weave 1/1 full cross. And I think I worked on this Saturday, and it's like, man, I love full coverage. Why do I not pull them out as much? Like, it's something I don't ever think to put in my prompts. I don't know why. I do a lot of games. I could get a lot of progress on them. But I'm thinking next year, I have this urge that next year, even though it's, you know, long way away, I want to do a lot of full coverages next year and make them sort of my focus. So we'll see. All right, next. Okay, this one I worked on 3 times. And I worked on it for Bake Off, Great British Bake Off, which is a game that Jen the Caffeinated Crafter plays. And I'm just tagging along because, you know, FOMO. And it is Indian Peacock by Dimensions. This is a kit, and that is what it's going to look like when it is completed. This I'm doing in honor of our neighborhood peacocks that roam around, making lots of noise, setting the dog off barking, but you know. Alright, so this one, 3 times for 513 stitches. Alright, so this is done on the kit fabric, which is an Ada. Which way does it go? This way? I need to move that needle minder. I use my needle minders, if what I'm stitching is not really obvious, I use my needle minders, put them top left so I know where the top is. Alright, so that is where it is now. And I worked on up here. So I'm working my way up. I like to work top down. So I had this done, and I worked up here, and around here. I probably already had some of this done. And I know that this bag wants to fall off. I know I worked up here, and that's the top of the peacock's head. And Dimensions, as you know, have a lot of half stitches, 1 threads, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not into that. I just did it all 2/2 full cross. So that works for me. And if I run out of thread, then, and I have to use DMC, which I'm sure theirs is, even though they say it's specially dyed for their projects. I don't believe that in a heartbeat. I reckon it's just DMC. Then I can match pretty closely to a DMC colour, and the way I stitch, it will probably not look like, probably won't, hopefully won't be close to each other if it's a big noticeable difference. If it is, as I'm running out of a colour, I'll match it to a DMC colour. And if it's going to be too big a difference, then I'll just blend them until I've finished the original colour, and hopefully it will blend okay. But it's going to be years till I finish that anyway. Alright, so that I used for Bake Off. Next. Oh my goodness. Alright. Okay, this one I stitched on once, and I put into it 618 stitches. This is Roses of Provence by Mirabilia. And I used this for Bake Off and Fandom. So I know the prompt on this for Fandom was, it was related to some musical, which their theme this year is musicals. Had to be something edible, and I went, well, rose petals are edible, so there's roses in that. So that's how I made that fit. Hopefully the before photo is up. Alright, I'm doing this on a piece of Ada, which I'm thinking is 8, no, it's not 18, it might be 16, it might even be 14 count Ada. It is huge. This is the first Mirabilia that I started, and I don't know what it is, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's 14 count because it is a massive piece of fabric. And I'm just going to get where I stitched, and then I'll show you the whole thing. Okay, so that is where I stitched in her head and her hair. I did a lot of this hair. What did I say I got done? 618 stitches. So I did her hair here and the ribbon or whatever that is, and the top of her hair there. So she's looking a bit freaky now because she's got no details in her face and her back stitching. Once I get all this done, then I'll probably back stitch and then work down as I go. And I use a Q-snap, so beads will have to be the last thing I do. I'm doing this all in DMC, so if there's, like I said before, I haven't shown you the whole thing. If there's a Karen water lilies, I'll either see if I have a cottage garden threads that I can use, or I will just use a DMC straight colour. And this is where she is so far. That's her head down to her dress. So I started in the middle, and then I've worked my way up. You can see her neck, oops, here, her neck there, and then down to her dress. So that is where she is at the moment. I don't know when I started because I don't keep records of those sort of things. Yeah. So that one is massive. And that, I thought I did that for, no I couldn't have. All right, I'll just talk amongst myself. It's okay. Me, myself and I will have a lovely conversation and won't explain it to you. No. I thought I did it for Deck of Whips, but I couldn't have. Get in there. Oh my goodness, now I can't make things fit. Okay. Alright, need a drink. 1 second. Alright. Next. Okay, this one is Bedfordshire Sunset by Dimensions. This is a gold collection. A really old kit. I bought this in the 90s, I remember. And do you remember when they came in those green glossy bags with the rope handles on the top? Well, these kits did anyway. So I got this at a craft fair Rosehill Racecourse in Sydney in the 90s. So there's a lot in this. I think it's full coverage just about. There might be a little bit of sky that's not stitched, but the rest is pretty much full coverage. So, oh, I never thought I could use that for some full coverage prompts. Oh, I'm so silly. Anyway, so I stitched on this one twice and put 1,220 stitches into it. And there is what I did. So I'm working in the sky, and then I started in on the trees because I was sick of the blue. And this is really obvious where it should be a half cross stitch, I think in one strand, and I'm doing 2/2 full cross. So I will probably run out of these blues, but it's okay. I can substitute. And if the blue over here on the other side is a little bit different, well, that sky is not the same. Every single part of the sky is not the same color, so it will work. And I used this for quite a few challenges. I used it for Bake Off, Ambling Through the Alphabet in Down Under Divas, Stitch and Seek in Whip Warriors, and Fandom. So I made this work for lots. Since it was pretty boring stitching, I made it work for lots of things. So this is where I am now. And this is the kit fabric. It's a grey 18 count, I think, because it looks quite little. So that is everything now. Sorry, fan. Oh my goodness. I have to go this side maybe. No, I need to angle the fan a little bit. Hang on. There we go. Right. There you go. So that is everything now. There's still a lot to go. It's very detailed, this one. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. This is going to be a long-term project, that's for sure. All right. Oh my gosh, get in there. Okay. Next. Okay, this one I worked on once for Bake Off, and this is a kit, and it is Pretty Floral Cushion by Semco. This is a really old kit. I won't make it into a cushion. I'll just do the front panel and call it done, because I can't have nice cushions in this house with dogs and cat, with a dog and a cat. Not going to happen. So that is what it will look like. And I put into this 329 stitches, and I worked in that section there. Need to move the needle minder. Wait a minute. Okay, so I worked in this one, and I'm pretty sure I did just the border, and then I did the inside. So there's this outside border, and then between each of these little nodules things, there's 3 stitches of a different green. So I'm pretty sure that's all I did was that border. And this is where it is now, and this is massive. It's going to be a huge cushion if you want to make it into a cushion. And that's what I have done so far. So like, that's the size of the fabric. Like, it is massive. It's going to be a really big cushion. Okay. Next, we have alright, this one I did for temperature stitching, and it is Anne Morrison by Hands Across the Sea, and this is my one and only sampler that I actually have going. I think I don't have any other sort of traditional samplers going. And this I started in 2020, I believe, when it was a stitch along by Traditional Stitches for their anniversary, 20th anniversary of Traditional Stitches. And lots of people have finished theirs, and I'm still going. And I'm doing it on a piece of 25 count even weave 2/2, so it's going to be massive. This is my first sampler. I had no idea it should have been done on smaller fabric, but anyway. This is what I had, so this is what I used. And I put into this 323 stitches. And I'm working on this column here, which is the last column. And I sort of did, like, I think from here down or something like that. So that is what I have done. And like I said, this one's huge, because it's done on 25 count. So there is the whole thing so far. Yeah, still quite a bit to do. But anyway, and I have lots of samplers, so I'm thinking of doing Sampler September. I'm just working on lots of samplers. I have lots that I haven't kitted up. Like, this is the only one I'm actually doing, but I've got quite a few Hands Across the Sea charts that I would like to stitch. And I know this year is meant to be the year of, you know, finishing things and getting my 60 by 60. But it'll be after my birthday then, so I can start all I want. Anyway, alright, next. This one's still on the Q-snap. I don't normally do that, but I did. And try and find the picture. Alright, here we go. Spring Tulips by Stitching with the Housewives. That is what it's going to look like when it is finished. This one I worked on once and did 323 stitches, and this I'm using for temperature stitching. So there's not a whole lot left to do. So I did this greenery down here. There's only the tulips up here to go. Finish the fence on this side, and then the chickens. So this will be a finish this year. So I've just got these tulips to do, finish the fence on this side, and then the chickens, and it will be done. Yeah. Oh, and there's yellow in here, flowers and stuff I haven't done because they're also along the fence. So this will be a 2026 finish. Yay! And that's just on black Aida, what count? 16 count black Aida using DMC. Okay, next. All right, I normally don't work on this many projects. It's because of Bringo and temperature stitching that I've got so much. Right, next. What is this? I didn't write this down. I didn't write this down. Oh, okay. All right, let me check. Hang on a minute. Did I stitch on this? I must have. What does that have to look like? Let me just check my Whip Warriors diary that I write down every night what I stitch on. No, I don't know why this is in the bag because I don't think I stitched on it. I haven't written it down. I haven't got it down at all this year. All right, I know it was a prompt for something. Wait a minute. I have worked on it. I just didn't write it down. So I can't tell you how many stitches. I think this is a whip given to you by someone else. So this was, I bought off a D-stash group. A lady didn't want to finish it. And I'm not really sure. I can't remember the lady's name. But I think it was a lady who recently passed away, and I can't remember her name. She was a customer of mine as well. She got me to make her project bags and bought some of my project bags. I can't remember her name. Kerry, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway, but it is something blue by Rosewood Manor. And she didn't want to stitch it anymore. So it's done on a purple, I don't even know what count it is. Purple linen. It's a small one, so I don't know what count it is. And now I'm second guessing whether I did actually work on it. I must have, because I crossed it off on Bringo, and that didn't start till January. Anyway, so if I've shown this already, last video, I'm sorry, but I worked down here. That's all I did. So I don't know, what's that, 300 stitches or something? Yeah, I don't really know now if I worked on it between last video. Must have, because it was called on the 7th and I did the last video on the 5th. So I must have. Anyway, that's all I have so far. So she had started, she hadn't really done much. She'd done, I think, maybe 2 of these letters and a little bit of this up there, and that was it. So there wasn't a whole lot that she had done. So there you go. And she started in the bottom left corner. So I'm going to, I think, now work up, because I prefer to work from top to bottom. So I'm going to work my way up this left-hand side so that I can get to the top, and then I'll work down from there. That suits my stitching style a lot better. Well, that is my stitching style. So besides the chart and the partially stitched piece, she also gave me this hank of, I think it's a crew DMC. So that was very nice. I mean, I had to pay for it, but I didn't pay a lot. Nowhere near like even the cost of the pattern. So that was something blue, and your guess is as good as mine. How many stitches I did on that. Next. Alright. We're nearly there. And now my hair's blowing in my face and annoying me. And I don't have this one written down either. Oh, yes I do. Found it. Alright, so Crinoline Lady. If you've been watching me for a while, you will know this has been around for a long time, and now I can't find the picture. Where's the picture? Oi, oi, oi. Anyway, I'll pop it up on the screen because I can't find it in here. I know it's on the back of one of those bit of papers in there, but they're all folded, so who knows. Okay, so I worked on this one once for 395 stitches. And I used this for Fandom, Bringo, Weird Place Names, which is another game on Down Under Divas, and Stitch and Seek in Whip Warriors. Oh, and I'm also, in Whip Warriors, they have a new yearly game called Osbor or something, and in that I'm a shopkeeper. So I have to stitch items to stock my shop. And every whip that I stitch on, I use towards stitching inventory in my shop. I'm just not mentioning it because it's for every single thing. So everything I stitch on goes towards stitching an inventory item in my shop. So this is what I have worked on. I did her parasol up there. And this is where she is now. So I'm going to finish off her parasol and all the stitching on her dress, I think, and finish her completely back stitching and everything, and then work on all the flowers around the border. Finish off actually that middle piece of grass and trees and stuff, I think, and then do all the flowers around the border. There I have started like here. That is like the start of a leaf on around the border, and I think I've done on the other side too. Yes, I have. So that is her right now. Is she temperature stitching? No, I don't think she is. She might be. I didn't write that down. Who knows? Anyway, who knows? I'm playing so many games, I don't know what's what. Arthur or Martha, whatever's going on. And I don't have this one written down either. But I'm pretty sure this was a, wow. This was a Bringo call. Was this before the 5th? Nope. Oh, there it is. Oh, I found it. Something blue. I did 173 stitches on it. Sorry, I did find it. I've got it. I stitched on 5 projects this day. So I have my 3 here, and then I have this little arrow boom, up here, and I missed it. It's up there. So something blue, I stitched 173 stitches. And then this one, Autumn Meditation, I did 160 stitches. So this was a catch-up day for Bringo. Autumn Meditation is by Carolyn Manning, and that is what it's going to look like when it is done. This is from a magazine, and I started this for Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group years and years ago. And so I know I did this for Bringo. I don't know if I used it for anything else. And that is, all right, so I stitched up here I filled in these ones up here, and this is done on a 8er, quite a stiff 8er. I think it's 16, 18, I don't know, I think it's 16 count, I don't think it's 18. So, and these are my colours. So when I started stitching this, I didn't have all the DMC colours, I only had a handful or so. So I picked out the colours that I had that would work, that were like autumn tones for this piece, because I didn't have all the colours that she called for. So, and it's working now. I think they're coming out, it's coming out okay. They're blending nicely, so that worked out wonderfully. Okay, next one. Right, this was a Bringo one, and I worked on it once. There's 2 in this project bag, so they live in their own little plastic bags. And it's Nursery Rhymes 2 by Prairie Schooler. And I'm working on this one, and I used it for Bringo. Oh, and I've got it ready. I'm going to use it for a Down Under Divas or something project, weird place names, I think, prompt, where it has to be something related to sheep. So I will be stitching on this again, if not tonight, then tomorrow. So that's what it's going to look like. And I put 186 stitches into this, and this I'm doing on a piece of linen. It's 32 count Permin linen in the colour Tumbleweed, and it was meant to be, I got it off a D-Stash group, and it was originally meant to be for the Maidens of the Seasons part 2, whatever that is. So here we go. I don't have a lot done. So actually I think it goes, no, that's the way it goes. So that's the tree in the top left corner. I'm pretty sure it goes that way. Or does it go that way? No, it goes that way. It goes that way. Here we go. So I just worked on more of the leaves over here. So this one's slowly coming along. So I am just up here, I think. Am I? No, I'm over here. This bit here. So yeah, that was that one. And I really don't like this linen. I find it really hard to work on for some reason. It's a little bit easier since I had both my cataracts done. But before I had my eyes done, I couldn't work out the crosses. Like, I couldn't work out where to do the crosses. All I could see, why is that being ridiculous? I could just see lines. It was weird. It was really weird. It's really, really hard to explain. I couldn't see where to put the crosses. So, yeah. Not a fan even now. But it's a little bit easy now, but still I'm not a fan. So I know I won't be buying any more of that linen, but I guess everyone's got their own likes and dislikes, don't they? Oh, okay, getting down to the bottom. I've only got like 2 more after this one, I think. Okay, this one. I stitched on once, and that was for Bake Off, Great British Bake Off, and I did 253 stitches. This is it, Simplicity by Dimensions. This is a kit. This I'm doing in honour of my mother because she was a phenomenal self-taught sewer. Made her own wedding dress, made all my clothes growing up, and I couldn't tell you what I did on this one. This one I am actually down here doing the half stitches as half stitches. I don't know, I just am. So I think I worked over here. So not very exciting. That's all I'm just doing the ground. And I don't know why I'm working from the bottom up on this one. Who knows? I must have been a working down to the bottom type stitcher once, but now since I've been doing full coverages, I prefer to work the top down. So I used to start in the middle a lot and then work down. Now if I have to start in the middle because it's a kit and you never know if they have given you enough fabric on the margins, you don't know what the width is they've given you, then I still start in the middle, but I work up to the top. So that is everything I have so far. So I have some stunning legs and a pretty dress. Okay. Second last one, I think. Yes. All right. This is Turkish Delight by Rosewood Manor, and Flosstuber nose, itchy itchy. This one I worked on once for 550 stitches. That is what it's going to look like when it is done. I started this with Sabrina from, oh my gosh, her channel name escapes me. I'll link it below. I'll tag her below. I'm not sure how far along she is, but she's probably further than me. And I'm doing mine on a piece of 28 count linen from Paddock Lane Designs called Bushfire. This was when I was in the Fabric of the Month Club with Paddock Lane Designs. And I worked, I have no idea where I worked, over here. Yes, I worked over here, okay? I put in, you say how many I did? 550. I put in these letters here, I'm pretty sure that's what I did. S, T and U, I think, is all I did. So this is everything I have so far. There we go. Sorry about the fan blowing it, but that is everything I have done so far. And let me tell you, this bit down here, oh my gosh. Hang on a minute. This bit, so many colour changes, so fiddly. Ugh. So I've done my own colour conversion on this, and I can't remember why. I either didn't have the colours, it's probably called for, the called fors are something I don't have, own, not going to buy. Weeks Dye Works called fors, I'm not going to buy. So I just did a really dodgy job of converting them to DMC, and that's the colours that I'm using. It's going to look nothing like the original, but hey, it's going to be mine, and that's all that counts. And I'm a process stitcher, so doesn't worry me if I don't finish things, and if I do finish them, I normally don't have plans for them. And this is the last one that I have. And this one I worked on once. It is Golfing Partners. This again is a kit. So this is Golfing Partners by Elsa Williams, and it's a, who's the kit by? I don't know. JCA Inc. Oh my gosh, itchy nose. No idea, but anyway, Golfing Partners. I'm working on the dude at the moment. So I worked on this one once for 729 stitches, and I use this for a lot of things as well. I used it for Flosstuber Frenzy, which, yeah, little side note, I'm way behind on my Flosstuber Frenzy. I have changed the stitches I'm doing this year. I was trying to do like Jen was doing, but she's crazy and does way too many stitches for me. I can't do that many stitches, so I've changed it to $100. $100. I do that every single time I talk about it. What is that? I have changed it to 100 stitches per video. If they show a whip that I've currently got a whip of the same, then I'll do 50 stitches for that whip, and that is it. So I know I watched the Sunshine Stitches the other day. They had a few the same as me. Carolyn Zook, Zook Stitch, had a few the same as me. I'm going to have to rewatch them now because I didn't write it down. I was stitching at the time and I didn't have anything handy to write down how many they showed the same as me. So I'm going to have to go through them and do that. And Jen has done a video. So anyway, that's a little side note. So my little golfy man, my 729 stitches were in the border down here, finished off here possibly, and then the little golf ball at the side. So that is what I did for my little golfy man, and that is him so far. And I'm doing them on, I think this is it's a kit, so whatever came in the kit, I don't know, whatever it is, 16 count 8er, 14 count 8er, yeah, 14 count 8er. And they're meant to be done individually, framed individually, but I'm doing them on the one piece of fabric side by side. They'll still each have their frames, but anyway. So that is him so far. And golf has started again for the year. Woohoo, so I'm a very happy girl. So I was stitching, watching the Dubai Invitational on the weekend and last night. Very happy. Feel for Shane Lowry. Oh, I so want him to win. Double bogey last hole. Oh no. Anyway, if you're not a golfer, you don't, I'm not a golfer either, but I'm a golf fan. You don't understand. And you probably don't care either. Anyway, that is it. They are my whips. Woohoo. Alright. So, plans for this week. I went through last night and worked out, well actually this fortnight, and yeah, wrote down everything for this week into next week. Now on here are not all the Bringo calls, so this is my Bringo board so far, and I don't have a bingo yet. Some I've crossed off, coloured in, even though they haven't been called, because I did like the 600 odd stitches on Glistening Wings, so wherever I had it on the board I coloured that in because I've already done those stitches. And this is what I've written down for this coming week. That's all the projects and what I'm doing them for. Now that doesn't account for Bringo calls that haven't been called, or temperatures that I haven't written down yet. And there's a new game starting today in Whip Warriors, a birthday pop-up event, so I'll be stitching for that as well. But I wanted to show you my WhipGo boards. Now our WhipGo calls, my boards are year-long boards, and the idea is I put every single whip I have at the moment on a board, which meant that I had 5 boards. Do I have 5 boards? 6 boards? 5 boards? 5 boards. And every single project I have as a whip is on this board. I do have spaces for new starts, which is cool because I couldn't fill 5 boards, which is amazing. That's still too many whips, but anyway, who cares? Some I finished at the end of last year. I've crossed them off and replaced them with something else. And I'm not worrying about doing my WhipGo calls in January because I'm playing Bringo, which takes up, you know, there's 25 prompts in Bringo, so that's a lot. I am going to try and incorporate my WhipGo calls going forward into all my challenges so that I actually do them in the month they're called. But as I work on something, I will cross it off my Bringo board, my WhipGo board, because these are yearly goals. I don't have a stitch count or a number of times stitching on it as a goal. It's just work on the project at least once. So if I've worked on the project, then I cross it off. So this is how I'm going on my first WhipGo board. So this will show you how many projects I've stitched on so far this year. Alright, so if it's got a border around it, it was called for January but hasn't been worked on yet. Alright, so that's the first board. Second board. And yes, I have something in the 13 spot as well. The third board. The 4th board. And oh my gosh, can you hear that? That's my stomach. Oh, I'm so sorry if you can hear that. Wow, I'm hungry. Alright, and the 5th board. So there you go. I have a lot of whips that I've worked on and still a lot I need to work on. So my plans are basically to keep going like I'm doing. Just keep adding to my list of what I need to do, crossing it off as I go, and then getting as much done as I can and not stressing about it, because if I looked at all the games I have to play, all the games I want to play and participate in and all the challenges and stuff, I'd be around the bend and highly stressed. But anyway, stitching is fun and that's my escape. So that's enough rambling from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Maybe I've enabled you to start a new project or work on something that you've forgotten that you have, or I've worked on something and you've gone, hey, I've got that in my stash, maybe I should pull that out and stitch on it. Then that makes me happy if that's what's happened. Anyway, like I said, that's enough rambling. I'm just crapping on now. Anyway, I probably shouldn't say that. Oops. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you've liked this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notify bell so you know when my next video comes out. Hopefully the next one will be in a fortnight's time. I don't know what that date is, but it's probably going to be February by then already. Yeah, until next time, happy stitching, take care, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.